Today I want to walk you through how to make render templates in After Effects. So there are two ways to get to the render template settings. One is you can go to the menu under Edit and Templates, and you can select Render Settings, and this dialog box will pop up. Or you can go to and select Output Modules, and this will give you the dialog box. Another way to get there is from the render queue. Once you have a comp queued up, right next to the render settings or output module, you have this little pull down menu, and you can click on Make Template. So let's do that. So it's the same dialog box. You can just get there either from the render queue or under Edit and Templates. So over at the office, we usually do a lot of ProRes proxy renders. So I want to set it up so that every time I click on render, it'll automatically give me my ProRes proxy render settings. So first thing I'm going to do is first I have to give it a name. So I'm going to go ProRes proxy. Then I'm going to hit edit, and this new dialog box pops up, and under the format options, I'm going to select my codec, and I'm going to select ProRes 422 proxy. Click OK, and then click OK. Now that I have all my settings, I want to turn this preset into my default preset every time I hit render. And to do that, in the same dialog box next to movie defaults, I'm going to change this to ProRes proxy, which we just made, and I'll click OK. And to see that work, I'm going to delete this render, and I'm going to go back to my comp, and I'm going to hit render. And as you can see, by default, it gives me my ProRes proxy render as my default setting. Another bonus to show you is the output section over here. Not a lot of people know that you can actually change the settings on this if you do a lot of, let's say, renders during the day, or let's say, for example, you have a whole team and you have different renders in different times. If you go down and hit this dialog box menu, you have options for custom, and then in here you can select different properties on whether you want to have the year, the month, the hour, the minute. So for example, this is the name of our comp at the moment, and what I want to do is have the year, the month, the day, and the time. So let's say I want to have that as my default every time I render, so instead of typing it all the time. So I'm going to hit custom, and I'm going to hit add properties. Let's see, add properties. I want to put in the year, I want to put in the month, and I want to put in the day. So I also want to put in some dashes just to separate them. And before the comp name, I want to put an underscore. And right before the file extension, I'll put another underscore, and I want to add another property. I want to add time so that we know what time it was rendered. So I'm going to put in hours and minutes. And I just want to put these guys. I want to put this guys over at right here. So my hour to be first. So hour, minutes, then my file extension. Actually, I want, this is a little backwards. I want my year first, then month, then day. All right. So when I click, I can also turn this into a template. So I'm going to call this my default. So this will be for my company Rezonate. Output. Click OK. Click OK. And you can see here it gives some parameters. And if I just hit render, as you can see, the name now has the year, the month, the day, and the time. Hopefully this helps your workflow, and more tips to come.